I would like to give the political vision on everything related to capital market unions. You know that during the last crisis, SMEs all over Europe suffer, not all over Europe, sorry, but mainly over the southern countries, Italy, Spain, even worse in Greece, suffer a problem of lack of credit, lack of liquidity that make the crisis worse and made the recovery more difficult, because, as you probably know, SMEs in Europe are main actors of growth and jobs. This was due to two reasons. First of all, because of the high dependency of banking financing of the SMEs in Europe, and secondly, because of the fragmentation of the financial markets. Regarding the first reason, if you compare the data with the US SMEs and the US companies in general are much less dependent on banking financing. 1/3 or 20% of the financing comes from the banking, but and the opposite, and in Europe is precisely the opposite. This, as I said before, made the crisis deeper and make the recovery more difficult. Regarding fragmentation, when the crisis arose, the financial markets, as they were fragmented, avoid that the liquidity pass over different countries. This was due for many reasons. One of them is that we created a monetary union, but not a real economic union. We have done during the past term many steps in the direction to try to avoid this fragmentation. One of them is precisely give confidence within the Eurozone, and I think that that the two-pack and the six-pack contribute to this confidence. We also start to work in the banking union. We even created and implemented the two first pillars of the banking union, the single supervisory mechanism and the single resolution mechanism. There is still the deposit guarantee scheme pending, and also the intense and action of the ECB contribute to reduce the fragmentation. But this fragmentation will not disappear at all until we create a real economic union, and one key actor in this economic union is precisely the capital market unions. I firmly believe this is one of the priorities of the Commission, and Commissioner Hill is really engaged with this proposal, as you all know, and I expect that the Parliament will react sooner the better. I believe the overall objective of all legislative proposals should be to advance in the single market, obviously, ensure innovation in the market, transparency, establishing a level playing field, and most important, to guarantee that the real economy is going to benefit from the capital market union, and of course also guarantee consumer protection. I hope that we will be able to explore ways of reducing fragmentation in financial markets, diversifying, as I said before, financing sources. We need to reduce the dependency of the bank financings, strengthening cross-border capital flows, and improving access to finance for business, particularly SMEs, that, as I said before, are the key actors of the growth and jobs agenda. Capital market unions should move the European Union closer towards a situation where, first, SMEs can raise financing as easily as large companies. Second, costs of investing and access to investment products converge across the European Union. Third, obtaining finance through capital markets is increasingly straightforward. And finally, seeking funding in another member state is not impeded by unnecessary legal or supervisory barriers. The first step, I firmly believe, is to create new rules on securitization. The Commission has proposed a regulatory framework for securitization which is simple, transparent and standardized, the STS proposal, which will be subject to adequate supervisory control. According to the Commission, estimates if EU securitization issuance was built up again, the pre-crisis average, it could generate between 100 and 150 billion in additional funding for the economy. And this obviously means new growth and new jobs. Furthermore, the new rules on Solvency II treatment of infrastructure projects is also key to build up the capital market union. Finally, among other measures, the Commission will also be launching two public consultations, one on venture capital and another on covered bonds. In the European institutions and especially in the European Parliament, we are committed to put in place the building block of a well-regulated and integrated capital market union for all member states by 2019. Our goal is to maximize the benefits of capital markets and non-banking financial institutions for the wider economy, but especially for SMEs, small and medium enterprises. Thank you very much indeed.